Welcome to episode 770 of Hard Factor. It is Monday, September 13th, 2021. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. We got Mark, Pat, Wes, and I'm Will. Today, we're talking movies, football, politics, cryptocurrency, Afghanistan, Netherlands, British Columbia, Rome, lots of stuff.
Holy moly.
Show.
Whoa.
It's a lot coming at you. Yeah. How you guys doing? You have a good weekend?
Pooh. Did I?
It was good?
Did Medvedev win the U.S. Open?
Oh, you had a good betting weekend, Mark. Yeah.
Did every single one of my college bets totally tank? Yes.
Okay, so Pat had a bad betting
Did the
weekend.
Washington football team look really good and then totally beef it like they're supposed to?
Well, they kind of looked. We'll talk about that in the cup of coffee. We could get deeper into that. You
Daddy's
thought they were,
down.
Yeah, we'll talk about how they looked. Wes, how about you?
Good. I made the wise decision on Saturday to look and see what was going on around Texas. Found out the rodeo and fair was in Abilene, which is about 3.5 hours away.
Oh yeah, I saw the pig racing. Oh.
Yeah. So I remember there was a question on like what's the closest thing to a hangover for a guy that doesn't drink. It's going to a carnival and eating carnival food and riding the rides that are just meant to make you puke and driving 7 hours.
Home.
Yeah, driving 7 hours total, spending 4 hours in the sun. That's what a hangover is.
Sunday
You
was
won't
rough.
hang over.
West Coast sober hangover.
Saturday was a long day.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun though. It was good.
What were the
experience.
people like out there? Were they salt of the earth?
They were salt of the earth. Yeah, I mean, you might not have fit in there, Pat, and neither did I really. But I went to Walmart before and got this like Fast and Furious shirt. So
Good call.
I fit
they all
in real
love
well.
Fast and the Furious.
Oh, there were so many Walmart shirts there.
Yeah.
I was
Nothing
like, I almost got that one. I
stronger
almost
than
got that
family.
one. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Lots of like it was like a teenage like it was like school day. So there's a lot of teenagers there, and a lot of like you could tell like 14, 15-year-olds that were probably going to get married one day. Like that's wearing their
No, like
boots.
the next day.
week.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
married one day.
Yeah.
They're engaged already.
Yes.
It's a race. Yeah.
Someday
Like,
soon.
Whoever bet on the right pig, that person got married.
Yeah,
That was going to be a nice wedding.
It was a sight. It was good though.
Nice. All right. Well, let's do the news. But first, a reminder, follow at Hard Factor News on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Also, please subscribe and download wherever podcasts are free to support the boys. Now, it's time for a cup of coffee in the big time.
Yeah, cup of coffee in the big time.
Holidays, history, trending news. But first, a fun fact. The game of American football was invented in 1882, and it's a modified version of rugby. So
Rugby was around a lot longer than that?
yes, I'm assuming much longer than at least those, whatever, 100 and some odd
The tortoise and the hare.
Well, yeah, I mean, American football obviously took off way more strongly in terms of garnering international attention after being created versus rugby. But yeah, it was like basically they had you be able to move the ball forward in rugby and do 3 downs. That's pretty much the change. 4 downs, whatever.
Glad they did it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't watch.
Thank you.
I mean, rugby's good,
Yeah,
but
I
football's
played
better.
both, and yes, you're right. Football's way better to watch. Rugby's more fun to play for me personally because you get to play both ways, defense and offense. But football, much more fun to watch. Okay, September 13th, holidays. Bald is Beautiful Day.
Agreed.
Yeah, Fortune Cookie Day, I'm on Top of It Day, International Chocolate Day. You'll hear more about that later. International Programmers Day. Shout out to the programmers. Kids Take Over the Kitchen Day. National Boss/Employee Exchange Day. That sounds dicey. What do you guys bring in your boss? Like liquor? But then what if he's sober?
A job well done. That's what I'm bringing him.
That's a good idea.
Or her.
There you go.
Good point.
Yeah, an on-time delivery.
National Celiac Awareness Day. So big time for gluten-free people. National DeFi Superstition Day. Don't know what that means. National Peanut Day, Positive Thinking Day, Rolled Doll Day, Scooby-Doo Day, Snack a Pickle Time. Not a day, just snack a pickle time. Supernatural Day and Uncle Sam Day. Uncle Sam.
Tough. tough day for people with peanut allergies. National Peanut Day. Everyone's just rubbing it in their face. They can't get anywhere near it, or they're gonna die. Oof.
They can't even go in some places.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
What if you're allergic to peanuts and you have what's it called, celiac disease? So you're gluten free. This is a big day for you.
Not a lot of fun to hang out with, I'll tell you that much. People who have peanut allergies need a card, to be honest with you. Generally, people who have life-threatening allergies that is gonna that really inconvenience or change the way you do things at like a restaurant. They need a card so I know that they're legit.
Yeah,
because
like a
I don't mind making sure that there's no cross contamination if you're actually allergic to peanuts. But I feel like a lot of people project.
Anybody can claim it, Pat.
A lot of people are like, yeah, I probably have a peanut allergy. Then they just run with it.
That's the thing about allergies. You can just claim it. Everybody claims to be allergic to cats. Everybody in the world.
That's right. If they don't want to be at someone's house, for example, or exactly.
Or
I don't know. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're in a relation. I agree with Pat. I mean, sometimes it's just fun to leave nuts around and not have to worry about it. It's
great.
But,
Trail mix is
awesome.
one of the dirtiest things you can eat.
They don't
falls
go
out of
bad.
your hands so easily.
Yeah.
They're essentially asking you to not take full advantage of one of the only foods that you can leave out with no consequences.
right. It's
It's a
like
big
bunch
ask.
of it's like a bunch of
big
little
ask.
grenades for some people, though. You got to be careful. It's like a bunch of little bullets.
It's tough. Watch out today, peanut people. But congrats to you if you're just snacking on peanuts all day. Have fun.
Dude, they can't even go to Chick-fil-A because it's all peanut oil. Sorry. They can't go
That's
to
the
fucking
worst part.
Cold
That's the worst part.
Stone, Baskin Robbins. They can't go to Five Guys Burgers and Fries. They can't go.
Flying's tough because everyone's got the goddamn peanuts on the plane, right?
Yeah, it's like the number one snack.
How do they live? Why do they live?
It's tough. Well, life is good. You can avoid the peanuts, but it's
It's like
hard.
shellfish people. I never got it. I just
Yeah, that
ya.
sucks. My mom has
See
a
ya.
shellfish allergy. She
See
has
ya.
anytime we're having like a crab feast, it's just gotta suck for her.
my brother-in-law too. I'm just like, Jesus, I'm sorry, buddy.
You're like Larry King with his son. If his son had a shellfish allergy.
Yeah, don't want to see him.
Yeah, it'd be hard
I'd
to hang out
choose
with
the
Wes.
shellfish party over you.
in the summer. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
oh,
you
for
wouldn't see
sure.
Wes in the
Yeah.
summer if you have a shellfish allergy.
Sorry.
It's shellfish, really.
Yeah, shellfish.
Today in history, September 13th, big day. Lots of creepy old history, so we're gonna go real old today. 1515, Swiss mercenaries attacked the French position near Maringano, something like that. And then the next day, they were defeated by the French and Italian troops. And ever since then, they've been neutral. They've never had another fight.
Well, what a one day though.
Yeah. Yeah, they took something and then just got their asses kicked right away. Then they were like, we're staying inside the mountains forever.
Kings
That's what
for
you
a
need.
day.
It's like when I got my ass kicked in Vegas. Never talked shit ever again, really.
Right.
You're like the Swiss, Wes. In 1759, the British defeated the French at the Battle of Quebec. And in 1848, American railroad foreman Phineas Gage suffered a traumatic brain injury when an iron rod shot through his skull and obliterated the greater part of his left frontal lobe of his brain. He survived with apparently no lasting physical damage, though some claimed his personality had changed. And there's his picture with the shut eye.
A little bit angrier.
Man, he was like
Shorter
he's
fuse.
like one of the most famous neuroscience patients of all time, Phineas Gage.
Yeah.
That's
I
why,
bet.
That's why he's written about. I forget exactly what it was.
He's a real
but
freak of nature, that
it
Phineas Gage.
definitely had to do with his weird ass brain injury, because I think his brain injury helped neuroscientists discover like what part of the brain, wherever the thing went through, what that controls.
Yeah, anger.
Yeah, anger for sure. Phineas was furious. From then on, Phineas was furious. He's like the character that Jaws played in Happy Gilmore. Remember, he had like the huge nail through his head.
Yeah.
And Shooter McGavin turns around. He goes, "Oh my God!"
Phineas Gage, interesting guy. I didn't have time to look up more. One last history. 1598. Philip III was crowned King of Spain and Portugal. King Philip III, crowned on this day in 1598, was virtuous in his private affairs, indifferent as a ruler, and extravagant in his spendings, exacerbating Spain's growing economic problems. And there's a picture of him in his like fancy outfit on top of his horse. So he's just a spender. He just
It's
bankrupted.
a
countries.
horrible painting of him.
Yeah. He's just a real asshole. Just a guy. He didn't care about the people at all. Just spent all their money. Philip
Yeah, it's
III.
like a clown. Yeah.
Sounds like SafeMoon. Wait, was that?
Oh yeah. Hope you're not holding SafeMoon. I still am. We're gonna be talking about that in just
Yeah,
a second.
same here. Way too much of it. Whet the appetite. Nice. Yeah, that'll be an interesting conversation. Birthdays on September 13th. Milton S. Hershey in 1857 of Hershey chocolate. That's why it's Chocolate Day. Also, Roald Dahl, the novelist who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He was born in 1916. Fiona Apple was born on September 13th, 1977. And German football star Thomas Muller was born in 1989 on September 13th. So that's the birthdays. On to the trending news. Honorable mention today. Actress Rose McGowan joins Larry Elder's campaign for California governor after claiming that Gavin Newsom's wife offered her Harvey Weinstein hush money. So, loaded statement. But all that happened over the
Read that back one more time.
Actress Rose McGowan joins Larry Elder's campaign for California governor. She used to be a huge liberal. After claiming Gavin Newsom's wife offered her Harvey Weinstein hush money so she would shut up about the Weinstein case.
About the
Sounds like a weird trivia question.
Did she ever mention Marilyn Manson being like an alleged serial rapist?
I don't know. Did she date him? Probably.
Yeah.
Didn't she date? Didn't Rose McGowan?
She
was
did.
with
Rose,
Marilyn Manson?
yeah, because he was in that movie Jawbreaker. Because she was in that movie Jawbreaker, and he played a rapist in that movie.
Well, it sounds like
Well,
she got taken advantage of in
method
Hollywood.
acting.
Big time.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't a rapist. He was in the movie. He was like a drifter they brought in to bang at. I forget. Anyway, yeah, he's
Allegedly, in
creepy.
real life, he is.
Yeah, well, she claims that the Newsoms are creepy along with the Weinsteins. That's her allegation.
She can't
So
catch a break.
So she joined Elder. She's like, I'm not a Hollywood liberal anymore. Okay.
They killed her career, man.
Big news, Rose. What did her?
Oh, Weinstein famously killed hers and Ashley Judd's career.
Yeah.
There's a couple that he singled out and was like,
Yeah, he's a
blacklisted.
real piece of shit, huh? Yeah, that's crazy. Hollywood, that's gross. Number 3, keeping it in Hollywood. Ben Affleck is back with Jennifer Lopez. They're actually shopping for a home in Hollywood. But this last weekend were at the film festival in Venice, Italy, and he is feeling good, fellas. He's feeling so good that he just handled this weirdo trying to get a selfie with J-Lo on the red carpet over the weekend. Ben just shoves him away, casually pushes him off, gets the great photo op. Everybody's like making lots of memes about his comeback. They're like, he used to be sad and thick and smoking in all his pictures, and now he's just defending J-Lo so valiantly.
Yeah,
You know, good
can we
news for
talk
Ben.
about his bod, bro? Like,
He's skinny now.
I didn't think that at his age you could get back to where he is. Once I saw where he went, which is where we are. And then
Well-
he went, but he's also like 20 years our senior, 15 years our senior. And then he went back to skinny boy.
He should have done
Sexy.
that before the Batman role, though. You
Or
know, he
that back tattoo,
kind
man.
of screwed that up.
He's still got that. You can't lose that with.
But he's
weight.
back.
They only gave him the one Batman movie. Now he's, if he did it before, maybe he got the second and the third. I heard
back now,
that he's also living in Austin for the next 4 months because
He
J-Lo's
is.
filming a movie there. Yeah.
Yep, they are in Austin right now, but they are shopping for a home together in LA, so they won't be there forever, it sounds like.
Wes, I bet if you were going to meetings in Austin, you'd see him because he's in the club.
Oh, yeah, he's
Oh, yeah?
Affleck is.
Maybe
Gotta
I'll,
be in
maybe I'll
recovery.
search him out.
Yeah, find him.
Yeah.
Could be
I
huge
bet-
for the show.
I bet I know which one he's at.
Okay.
the ritzy one.
Yeah.
I know which one he said.
Yeah. There's a few where everyone's real full of themselves.
Oh, man, I hope you search him out. Related to Ben being back, I finally got to go back to the movie theaters for the first time since Tenet this weekend, which was not good in theaters. I saw Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, and it was awesome. Much better than Tenet. Good suggestion, guys. Last week.
Yes.
Did you think about *Malignant*, or you had your mindset on Shang-Chi?
Well, *Malignant's already on HBO Max, so I just didn't. I was like, I could see that for free at home, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I was like,
I heard it's
Shang-Chi.
good.
Shang-Chi's the shit, though. *Malignant* also is supposed to be good as well. Good movies out right now. Number 2, football season is back again. I know we've said that a lot, but it's back for real this time. NFL, full slate. Real quick, though, first, a footy update from European football. Leeds got blown out 3-0. Pretty happy. I didn't have time to bet on any games this weekend with my parents in town. Yeah, Leeds. That's tough, like we said.
So
Bad
Dallas
season.
Dave.
Yeah, I mean, those picks. Dallas, Dave, you got to give us a maybe something we're not depending on Leeds to draw or win.
Play
And
a disclaimer.
We're gonna
that's-
listen to Dallas Dave anymore.
No, so that's 3 strikes in a row or 4 strikes in a row. He's out. So Dallas Dave, please call in and leave updates on Leeds, but don't use the words. I advise you to bet on it anymore.
We're locked.
Just give team updates and then don't mention gambling on Leeds.
I do need to hear what Leeds is doing, but they're doing poorly.
Also, we hope you're doing okay, Dallas Dave, because
Yes.
Yeah.
financial times are tough when
He's
you're
taken a
hurting.
bath this season so far. Also, Cristiano Ronaldo is back. Speaking of people who are back with Manchester United, and he looks great in red again. Wow. Already
does.
scoring goals.
Yeah, Dallas Dave will be telling us to bet Leeds over Man United any day now.
He looks too good.
Yeah.
He looks real good. CR7 and TB12 looking great in red these days. And speaking of that, let's take it over to the more important football news, American football news. In college ball, Texas is not back. They got trounced by Arkansas. Lots more of that coming for Texas as they join the SEC. Arkansas is not one of the better teams in the SEC, if you were.
The fuck was Texas thinking?
Oh, they're terrible. Their quarterback, Card or whatever, he's the worst quarterback in the history of quarterbacks. He's, and then they put in like some freshman who should have been playing the whole game, and he was much, much better.
It's like the biggest. It's like one of the biggest schools in America, and easily like probably the easiest to recruit to in terms of the destination. It being in Austin, Texas.
They get a lot of high star athletes.
Probably has the most dedicated booster paying players program, I'd say, or at least top 5. Like,
Not
what's
back,
going
though.
on there, man?
Not back.
They can't get it together.
Yeah, nope. Not back. Sarkisian's their coach now. It doesn't matter who the coach is. They're just not back. The underdogs in general had a good day. Iowa beat Iowa State pretty soundly. That was a 10-9. Oregon also handled Ohio State with relative ease, and those were the 2 marquee matchups on Saturday. And most notably, though, Jacksonville State, coached by Barstool Sports' Deion Sanders, beat Florida State with a walk-off touchdown.
No. Different team.
Jacksonville State, Jacksonville, 2 different teams. Both played.
He coaches Jackson State.
Oh, he coaches.
Jacksonville-
He doesn't coach that team.
But he did have a
Jacksonville
win.
State.
Oh, my
Yeah.
bad. I thought that
Yes.
he coached the
No,
team.
no,
that
no.
won.
It's a common misconception. Jacksonville State is the team that I told everyone to bet on against like UTEP or whoever the first week because like UTEP was favored or UAB was favored by like 22 points, and I was like, they can't beat anyone. They're not going to beat Jacksonville State by 22 points. They did. They won 31-0. So Jacksonville State came into Florida State 0-1, losing 31-0 to a shitty school, and they beat Florida State.
My dog
that's
run
even
continues.
worse.
I did win
Way
that one.
worse.
But it
Way
would
worse.
be. Is it worse? Because I thought Deion was the coach, which would have been
That team's
absolutely
better.
awful.
Jackson State's a lot better than Jacksonville State.
Deion
Wow.
did pull out a win against Florida A&M last week, which was fucking impressive, and I made some money on that game.
Yeah, but not nearly as impressive as Jacksonville State beating Florida State. Let's be honest.
Did you see the
it's
last
about
play?
as impressive.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Did you see the last play of this Florida State game? It was incredible.
amazing.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
It was a
Jacksonville
Hail
State.
Mary, and then the guy
It
caught
gets
at the
the-
10,
gets
and
the credit.
two Florida State guys just had him at the 10, and they just missed him.
Yeah, and then the block at the
the
fucking,
final block was
the
amazing.
block. Yeah, the block was incredible at the
Oh,
2.
the block.
Yeah.
Jacksonville State, very
Talk
good.
about the block.
Yeah, it was a great block. Pat, did you see the play?
I missed it. I didn't see it.
They're saying it's the worst loss
He's
in
mocking
Florida
the
State
block.
history, and I'm sure
see it.
that has to be correct. It's the worst loss in the history of the program.
Whenever Pat's mad about sports, you just start saying sports terms sarcastically. The block. There was a shot.
Is there a shot?
I've heard this since we were young.
block,
Otherwise, not too many surprising results. Yeah, it was a good block. Besides some games that were closer than expected, like Notre Dame, Toledo. Thank you for the clarification, Mark. Jacksonville State.
I would have to say Notre Dame's probably not that good because they had to take overtime to beat Florida State, right? So
Right.
After the first week, we're like, oh, Florida State's good and Notre Dame's good. No, neither are good.
Yeah,
Florida
no.
State sucks and Notre Dame sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're not. In pro football, Joe Burrow, kind of like pro/college, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are taking their act directly to the pros from the 2019 LSU title team. The mashup, did you guys see this? I'm going to show it to you right now. That LSU did of a touchdown versus Clemson in the national title game versus this touchdown on Sunday for the Bengals was amazing. Here it is. It's just like they're the same play.
Now Burrow going to launch downfield for Chase.
Going deep. Jamar Chase. He's got it.
Who's got it? Touchdown, LSU.
Chase to the end zone. That's a Bengal touchdown.
Pretty fucking
pretty
cool.
good. That's
pretty fucking cool. Obviously, everybody was a bit nervous after Jamar's comments about the NFL ball being harder to catch, but Sunday against the Vikings showed he can definitely still catch the ball. Speaking of Clemson, the Trevor Lawrence debut in Jacksonville kind of sucked. They got smoked by the allegedly very lowly Texans. The Bills surprisingly got beat handily by the Steelers, making the shitload of Bills future bettors very nervous. That was a Super Bowl pick for a lot of people, and the Steelers are supposed to be very down. The Eagles devastated the Falcons in the Battle of the Birds. Any thoughts on that, Mark, as a Birds fan?
It was another kind of like the Jamar Chase Burrow combination. Hurts
Yeah.
had a year. He got kicked off the team, or he's transferred, but he had a year at Alabama with Devontae Smith and a bunch of touchdowns with him, and they're back together.
Wow.
And they're scoring touchdowns.
Yes, they are. 49ers defense gave up 33 points to the Lions, but they still won. The Cardinals, Saints, and Broncos all looked awesome, and the teams they played did not, including the Green Bay Packers. The Browns and Chiefs had a hell of a shootout, which the Chiefs won. Rams and Bears going down as we tape. I'm assuming the Rams are going to crush them. And then finally, in unathletic-looking quarterback news, Mac Jones did pretty good in his debut for starting for the Patriots. He still lost to Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins by 1 point. And Taylor Heineke is in at quarterback for the football team after Ryan Fitzmagic got injured very fast in the loss to the Chargers. So sorry to all those who had canceled Heineken for his political beliefs last year. He's back, still tossing TDs. Going to have to deal with him.
Tell you what.
He believes in touchdowns is what he believes in.
Does.
Really impressed with what he
likes
did.
those.
But it was something stressful about watching him play. It was like he was doing well, but everything he was doing was like by the skin of his teeth kind of situation.
Was the best thing I've seen.
Dude, that fucking did you guys see the pass? The pass that he
The block?
it was
The catch.
the catch
But
and
the
the
block.
pass. Yeah, it was like the block.
Pass, yeah.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
was a better catch because that ball was really almost picked, and then McLaurin caught it like on his ass on the sideline. That was
A lot
brutal.
of time being discussed for a team that lost.
That's true. Number one, cream of the crop. Taylor Heineke isn't the only one making a splash with the local libs in D.C. this weekend. Senator/President Manchin is also making waves by going on CNN and saying this about the $3.5 trillion spending package.
Wrote, you said you cannot support the $3.5 trillion bill until you get, quote, greater clarity on why that amount is necessary. Most of your colleagues have been trying to give you that clarity over the past couple of weeks since you wrote that. Your party leader, Chuck Schumer, says he's moving, quote, full speed ahead with this package. Will he have your vote?
And that's fine. He can. He will not have my vote on 3.5, and Chuck knows that. And we've talked about this. We've already put out $5.4 trillion, and we've tried to help Americans in every way we possibly can. And a lot of the help that we put out there is still there, and it's going to run clear until next year, 2022. What's the urgency? What's the urgency that we have? It's not the same urgency that we have with the American Rescue Plan. We got that out the door quickly. That was about $2 billion, $2 trillion. And on top of that, all the things we put out with the CARES package, everything leading up to that. So we have done an awful lot, and there's still an awful lot of people that need help. But you have 11 million jobs that aren't filled right now. 8 million people are still unemployed. Something's not matching up. Don't you think we ought to hit the pause and find out the vulnerability that we have, Dana, right now? We don't know what happened with this COVID. It's awful coming back the way it is with a vengeance. We don't know about inflation. We know it's running rampant right now. I can tell you in West Virginia, inflation's running rampant. And on top of that, the challenges we're going to have, geopolitical challenges. Shouldn't we be prepared?
So I want to ask you about.
So he got pressed. What's that?
Ask him about the boat. Ask him about his
Yeah.
boat.
The boat's a much more fun
Yeah.
topic. Almost heaven. His houseboat, Senator Manchin's houseboat. No, he was pressed on by CNN, asking about like how much he would agree to. He was non-committal about that, but he says he approves of the infrastructure bill that they've already passed through, obviously, but that he's not going to sign off on the $3.5 trillion. White House staff apparently tells Rolling Stone that Biden is going to go on a lobbying blitz to bring Manchin around on this, nuking the filibuster and approving the Voting Rights Act. Sounds like a pretty tall order to me, but I don't know why I'd question Rolling Stone's reporting.
I think Manchin just likes to be the hottest chick at the party, man. That's what he likes to do. He likes to be like, you can't have this.
Well, he's a West Virginia
If
Democrat.
you want it,
So
you're
he's
gonna
in the
have
hot
to
seat all the time.
Work for it. Yeah, I mean, he just kind of established that space.
Well, but he's in a Republican state, and he's the only Democratic representative there, so he has to like be beholden to his constituents.
Yeah. Hottest chick at the party, though. No doubt about it. Everyone
It
wants
does make him that. It does make him that. It makes
Everyone
him
wants
like
to
the
dance.
pseudo-president, kind of.
Yeah.
And that's today's Cup of Coffee in the Big Time, which was brought to you today by Lightstream Credit Card Debt Consolidation. Did you know that you could actually roll all of your credit card debt into one monthly payment at a lower fixed interest rate? Did you know?
What?
You can.
The hell did you just say? What?
Well, listen up, Mark, because it's a great idea. If you want to pay off your debt and take control of your financial future right now, lower your interest rate and save with the credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream. Rates start at just 5.93% APR with autopay and excellent credit. Plus, the rate is fixed, so it will never go up over the life of the loan. You can get a loan from $5,000 to $100,000, and there are absolutely no fees. As soon as the same day you apply, you can get that money. Lightstream believes that people with good credit deserve a better loan experience, and that's exactly what they deliver. Just for our listeners, apply now to get a special interest rate discount and save even more. The only way to get this discount is to go to lightstream.com/factor. That's lightstream.com/factor. Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.93% APR to 19.99% APR and include a 0.5% auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/factor for more information.
Oh yeah! All right. I'm going to bring a guest on the show here, guys. My friend Jared Lutz, who happens to be the CTO of Starship. Jared, welcome to Hard Factor.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, Jared?
What's up, Jared?
Doing great, brother. And I want to bring Jared on because we're going to talk about the shit show that is SafeMoon. So, real quick, SafeMoon's a juggernaut. If you don't know, it's a DeFi token, right? Two to three of the 6 core team members of SafeMoon resigned over the last 4 days, and it seems they might be making off with investors' money to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars, leaving 2.5 million investors or holders holding the bag. And
So that's why our SafeMoon went from like a ton down to nothing.
Exactly. If you're wondering why your SafeMoon is dog shit today, we're about to tell you why. So we're going to give a quick background.
I'm wondering. So, yeah.
Got to give a quick background to anyone that doesn't really know about the DeFi space, and then let's talk about it. So SafeMoon, it's a Binance-based DeFi token. Binance is the network that kicked off the shitcoin revolution kind of back in March. Essentially, they were the first token to offer reflectionary rewards in their tokenomics, which means that like every time a token is traded, if you buy or sell SafeMoon, there's this 10% tax. So if you buy $10 worth of SafeMoon, when it actually hits your wallet, you actually just have $9 of SafeMoon because there's a 10% tax. And that 10% is split. 5% goes to a liquidity pool, and 5% goes to the existing holders pro rata. So depending on how many coins you have, or reflected back to the holders. That's why it's called a reflectionary token. Anyway, since SafeMoon launched back in March, the value of the token has gone up 362,647%. So if you had invested $1 back then, you'd have 362,647. It's kind of fucking insane.
Jesus.
Be pretty good, right? And at one point back in May 15th, 2021, the token had reached a market cap of $6.03 billion, right? The market cap today, 800.
My SafeMoon was looking sick in May.
Oh, it was looking really good.
Oh, man.
Market cap today, 845 million. So the market cap is how much cash essentially is the coin. So, and real quick before we go any further,
They lost a lot of billions there. They lost over $5 billion there, Pat.
They lost all the billions. Let me disclose that I am a holder of SafeMoon. Will is a holder of SafeMoon. I don't know who else on the show is holding it.
I was.
Nope.
Mark was. Wes is not. Jared, are you a holder?
Yeah, like 100 SafeMoon for testing.
Okay. Well, I have a billion.
I wouldn't consider myself a holder at all.
That's
not.
really smart of you, Jared.
That's like half a penny.
That's really smart of you.
I don't even know if that's half a penny.
Yeah,
That might
It's
be
probably
like
not. I'm going to be honest
a
with you.
couple
SafeMoon
1,000s
went
of
from like it's fractional. I don't even know, Pat. What did you, how it is like maybe a tenth or less of what I originally
when
bought.
we were flipping shit coins right at the beginning, right? Like when the market was on a bull run, right? I took pretty much all my profits on 3 or 4 coins, which is about $6,000, and I put it into SafeMoon. So that, by the way, not an insignificant amount of money for me.
Right? Yeah,
Now-
you were playing with a lot of coins there.
Yeah.
To push the knife in a little bit further, you also told everyone to get SafeMoon for a while.
Right. And I'll tell you why. Essentially, as I said, right, SafeMoon had a ton of people engaged, right? It was a massive market cap. It had a ton of holders. And
Yeah, they had a Times Square billboard.
We have to talk about why their market cap was so high, though.
Let's talk about it. So, Jared, please. And guys, so Jared, as I said, CTO of Starship. We've talked about Starship on this show before. Jared,
I'm a holder of Starship, always,
Hell yeah.
forever, diamond hand
All
for
right,
life.
Nice.
he's a developer.
too.
He's a doxed developer. And Jared's token Starship is a fork of the SafeMoon contract, right? So Jared and I have been kind of following this over the weekend, texting back and forth, like, can you fucking believe this? And it just keeps getting worse. So, yeah, Jared, explain to us why the coin is where it's at and what you know.
Well, so first off, and this might get a little complicated, so I'll try not to go into crazy amount of detail. But the way the price is figured in a decentralized network is going to be the liquidity pool. So the liquidity pool is split into 2 halves, right? You have the pairing token, which with SafeMoon is BNB, and then on the other side of the liquidity pool you have SafeMoon. So if the liquidity pool equals 1 SafeMoon to 1 BNB, then SafeMoon equals like 1 SafeMoon equals BNB.
You lost me.
$414.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can totally manipulate, like from the get-go when you're launching. I can make it so a token's value could be like $20 trillion, even though it doesn't have that liquidity backed at all. Like, for instance, at their height, I think that, I don't know like for sure, but around 6 billion, when their market cap was 6 billion, they only had in liquidity less than 100 million, right? So you have 100 million liquidity pool, but an evaluation of 5 billion or 6 billion, and you can totally manipulate that by adding, like, for instance, if I were to add $100,000 to one side of the liquidity pool, and then 1 SafeMoon, then 1 SafeMoon would equal 100,000 USD, right? So I can control that. I can control the price right off the bat. So there's that, right? And what Pat and I have been sort of talking about over these past couple of days is how you just see this crazy history of overhyping products where there are 0 deliverables. And you're doing that to get people to FOMO in, which is essentially a bear squeeze, right? Where a bear squeeze is where, because everybody knows a short squeeze, right? A bear squeeze is when you've got that initial hype, right? And then it's the token starts to drop. But then you have this massive increase in price, which is forcing people that sold to buy in higher than where they sold, right? So, there are different types of squeezes. And I really, when you look at their Twitter and you look at all the statements that
Captain
they're making,
Hunchies. Is that who we're talking about?
No,
no, Captain Hoddle, right?
Right, Captain Hoddle is the CEO. So let me get into this real quick. So all the cash is flowing in, right? And in the DeFi space, in relation to a token for it to be valuable, everyone talks about utility, right? So, for example, Bitcoin and Ethereum are blockchains, right? But that's kind of a form of a token, and they're a large-scale database or network that offers some form of utility. In Bitcoin's case, like, it transparently records a ledger of payments, and in Ethereum's case, it's used as a platform to program digital contracts, right? So those are examples of utility. On a smaller scale, the token Mana, for example, is the currency built on the Ethereum network that can be used to buy things in the open world game or metaverse Decentraland. Like, so that's a form of utility. Like, hey, you want to play Decentraland?
Utility means it does something. The coin does something.
It has a functional purpose.
Has a
Exactly.
functional
So
purpose. And a lot of them, yeah, exactly.
So when they launched SafeMoon, it had no utility, right? But what happened was all these people got into it. So what it did was it built a really cool opportunity for a large community to have a pooled amount of wealth, right? And if the leadership did something cool with a utility, that would make it significantly valuable. So everyone was talking utility, right? So SafeMoon was promising certain utility, but they have not yet delivered on any of that utility.
It's coming. That utility's coming.
Right, that utility's coming, right?
You better hold on to your pants. It's going to be a good one, too, because we're worth $6 billion.
Yeah, someday it's coming.
And I think that's what I'm getting at, and that's kind of where it's falling the fuck apart. So,
yeah, I mean, they just gave up. It seems like. I mean, look at the price. They've had to.
I don't
give
think
up.
they ever tried.
Right. So let's run this down. Let's run the timeline down.
Intentional rug.
So-
Would it be considered a rug?
Dude, when I started diving into, because I'm so busy in my own shit that like I can't be watching all this other stuff. But when there's a token out there that, to be totally transparent, I emulated these people. Like I wanted them to succeed, because if they succeed, it brings more attention to me personally, like in my project.
Right, because Starship is kind of modeled a little bit after their contract model, right?
It's on the same blockchain, and obviously we forked their contract, so like we like the DeFi side of where they went, but it's just you kind of see this massive explosion, and you're like, all right, this is great for our industry. Like as a CTO, whether you're a competitor or not, I will champion advancements in technology that will make blockchain technology stronger, right? Mm-hmm. But then when you have these fucks that are just not even trying to run a company or to really organize this in any discernible way, it now has the opposite effect.
Right.
And so
now you're mad at these guys. They're making it look you look bad.
Yeah.
This is
Just
like
trust anyone.
This is like what that Into the Wild kid did to wilderness people, to like actual hikers.
Exactly.
I was just talking about that with my creative director last night. That is crazy.
Perfect analogy.
Let's run this down. Utility, right? So let's talk about utility. So SafeMoon starts tweeting about utility, right? They launch in March. In April, they start talking about an exchange, right? So essentially a place where you can swap SafeMoon with other tokens. They raised $1 million for that exchange, roughly. By August 8th and then through today. They've never mentioned that exchange again. So they raised $1 million. We're not focused on the exchange anymore. This is back in April. April 30th, they announced the preview of a wallet. Okay, so a wallet, right? That's a form of utility. Now, this is where Jared comes in, because this kind of fucked me up. Wallet sounds complicated. Sounds difficult. It's very cool, and Jared's developed a wallet for Starship, and when he showed me the beta, I was like, Jared, this is awesome. It looks really good. And Jared was like, yeah. I was like, how long did it take you to make this? And Jared, you can tell the people, but it's kind of a utility to launch a wallet, but for the amount of resources that SafeMoon has, it's fucking a pathetic utility because it's so small, right? It's something that they should have been doing like week one of their company. Now, they're trying to drop this wallet August 28th, and guess what? It doesn't work. It fucking crashes all day long. They also talked about a debit card that's gone. And then over the weekend, their CTO left, their marketing...
There goes the utility.
Or their COO left,
Yeah,
and their blockchain, CBO, Chief Blockchain Engineer, left. And then everyone started freaking out. And it was like, no, I didn't leave. And we're going to get to it. He kind of actually did leave. So, Jared, can you explain what SafeMoon was trying to do, how they missed the mark, and how alarming this is?
What they were trying to do, I don't know. What alarming, I mean, that depends on what country you're in, because we're talking about massive tax implications. So the audit report that came out that literally went through every single transaction that left the liquidity pool. Okay, so to back up, when you are a contract owner or the contract lead dev, like for me, I have control and access to my contract. I can change transaction fees. If our liquidity wasn't locked, I could pull the liquidity, right? So whenever somebody is trading, the value of that trade, so that 5% that goes to liquidity, actually goes into the hands of the contract owner, right? So it's a lot of power in that like kind of respect.
Sure.
So
your God mode.
But you're kind of expected, like if it's a utility or if you have some kind of mission with the coin, you're expected to sort of stick to that as the contract. I mean, that's what the purchasers of the coin are expecting, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's for sure what they're expecting. So as a utility, other than DeFi, so to say that this is decentralized finance, which means that I deposit money in and I make interest on that comes through the side of the reflection. The 5% of the liquidity is supposed to make the liquidity pool stronger. But really, when you get above 10%, like I would say close to like 10 million in your liquidity pool, you really don't have to charge that tax anymore. So they've been really charging and taking this money into the liquidity pool. So they withdrew $116 million in this audit report.
Okay, so let's stop there.
Liquidity pool.
So, Jared, they withdrew $116 million, presumably to develop their utility. Okay, so Jared, let's talk about apples to apples.
We've passed that. They just to fatten their pockets.
116, dude. Yeah. There's no app you're making with 116.
Jared, how much did you spend? By the way, your wallet is dope. How much did you spend to develop your wallet?
I mean, I work in my garage. It was for free, so like it was my time. Right?
So, how much of the 116 million did you need?
You withdrew 10,000.
Yeah. How long did it take you to develop your wallet, Jared?
Well, okay, so my wallet, like their wallet is too, are what people have been saying. Their wallet is a fork off of Trust Wallet, right?
Yeah.
And we have Trust Wallet components in our wallet too. Any good developer should be able to fork within one single day. So I think the fork initially took me probably like 6 to 8 hours, 7 hours, right, to make the actual fork, which means I had a functioning wallet right off the bat within 7 hours.
Okay, so
at that point, now I'm changing code to be more applicable to our base and like how I want to utilize the wallet, right? So like hooking in different exchanges or different routers so that I can trade a token on PancakeSwap or Uniswap, right? So, I mean, I know that I probably lost you guys a little bit.
No. Okay, so point is, so May 3rd, when they were tweeting about the having dark mode on their wallet, like literally like screen configuration, image shit, and then
that should be pretty easy. Right?
Failing to launch their wallet on
Dark
August 28th.
mode?
So
like as in it accepts the settings of your phone.
As in like 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Which by the way took me 7 hours to do.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah. So we got it. They stole, or they took $116 million and couldn't develop the product. They still have not developed the product. I want to point a couple things out. So on August 28th, guys, on August 28th, their CEO was tweeting. Well, let me start with their web developer. So again, there's a 6-person team. This is August 28th. This is the tweet from their web developer. Went to a car show today at Tailgaters in Hope, Arkansas. Didn't win shit, but hey, it was fun. The Lamb truck with the Rebel-style grill, just need front bumper installed to complete the look, is already sitting at the house, and it's a picture of his decked-out truck. Now, I sent this to Ram Lover 69, Dodge Ram Lover 69, friend of the program. He said that this truck comes in about $50,000. Someone tweeted at him, "Why aren't you working on the wallet?" This is on August 28th, the day that their wallet crashed. He goes, in all caps, "Because I'm the website dev, not the wallet dev." And then Inraz Belichick says, "You're the website dev, and the website has crashed." So just to give you an idea, that's on the 28th when the wallet is dropped. The CEO is tweeting that same day, 6 hours before the wallet is coming out, saying that the SafeMoon wallet will be launching any minute now. Now, it didn't launch because it wasn't set up to launch. It was bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like they didn't want to do it. It sounds like it was all bullshit.
Well, dude, so they've talked about an exchange. I built an exchange as well, and they've talked about this debit deal. You know, to make a deal with Visa, that's just money, right? That's not like this crazy thing that you have to code. It's just a partnership deal, which is just money, right? You pay them to have your own debit card. So there's nothing complex about what they're doing here.
Right, so they're just lying. They weren't ever going to do any of that shit.
This is what it seems like.
So three of the 5 total or 6 total executives gone.
Yeah, so there's 6 people on the team. This is interesting. So there's 6 people on the team, right? CTO gone, COO gone, the CBO gone, and then he came back. But this is really fucking interesting. So not only did they transfer the contract to an undoxed CFO the other day, so.
Well, that's a big deal, right?
It's huge.
Like, it's a huge deal in the crypto
gave
space,
someone
right?
who no one knows who that person is, the only undoxed member of their team, their new CFO, the keys to the contract after removing $116 million. And then this happened, guys. The CTO who left, this conversation was leaked yesterday. And this is him talking about his new project to a bunch of people. Here you go.
I have a dumb fat Brit doing it, so. Perfect. And I own the Discord for SafeMoon, so if John does any spooky shit, I was just taking the Discord and linking it to our project. So, his best interest is to give me my $3 million severance package. Kind of forcing his hand on that one, because I also own the Twitter. Well, I own the domain too, so I mean, he kind of needs the website. Oh man. Everything, okay, but I want my house. I want my house, and I want to be able to pay myself back everything that I invest in the beginning of our project.
So that's Hank, the CTO. He's holding all the socials hostage for a $3 million payment. Meanwhile, 2.5 million holders are going to watch.
Well,
their
it
coin
sounds
go to
like
nothing.
the team is just totally falling apart. Whether they had good intentions at the start or not, now they're just fucking each other over.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think it was intended to be a rug pull, which is where the devs pulled the liquidity because they didn't dox themselves right away, right? So doxing is like where you know my identity. So that was a big thing that that my partner and I had really shot for with Starship and with other projects was, hey, this is who we are, this is our face, this is what we sound like.
Yeah,
and
it should be a requirement, honestly.
Right? It should, but we live in this crazy decentralized world where people want that, they want to be invisible.
Jared, do you think that all this, because you know how Congress is now like really, they're interested in crypto and they want to start like kind of putting regulations on. Do you think that this is some of the stuff that'll get sort of worked out through that process, or do you think that this is just like that's going to just mess stuff up even more?
No, the U.S. really has no authority except for the boundaries of the United States, right, and the citizens that are there, and they assert that authority by saying, if you break this law, we're going to tax you or imprison you.
Sure.
Right? So outside of the U.S., like this can always exist. It's like I was just saying, it's a decentralized world. It's a blockchain that can't be controlled.
But Jared,
right?
You discovered something while you were launching your wallet, right? And that's that SafeMoon is registered in Provo, Utah, right?
Yeah.
So that means they're going to jail, probably, right?
Well, okay. So this brings up other things, such as like they withdrew $1 million from the liquidity pool for like donating to COVID in India. And then they never distributed the $1 million, although they withdrew it from the liquidity pool. And then when the CEO is being called out about it, he's basically talking shit on the way charities operate, and that he's going to do it his way. And so working on, but he's not looking for clout, and so he doesn't want to talk about it. So no fucking details. So I take this more personally because I run a 501c3. Like, I know how difficult it is to work with the government and the IRS and all these other partners that hold you up to like this crazy high standard because you're taking money that will go to a charitable, it's a public benefit
cause. Yeah, it's supposed to benefit somebody.
And it's going to be a tax deduction for whoever gives it to you.
It's supposed to benefit somebody, not you, the business owner.
Yeah, it's like literally a charity is a public benefit. So he just went way up on the FBI's radar for sure. Not to mention that the IRS isn't going to give a fuck about what he's reporting. They're going to look at the fact that he runs a $5 billion token, and I bet you he's not even going to report like more than $1 million he made this last year. They're just going to assume, because he runs a $5 billion token, that this is his value and this is what he should pay tax on. They're going to send him a tax bill for it, and it's going to be up to him to fight it and to prove that he doesn't have that money.
Well, Jared, we got to move on to the next story, but real quick, what do you think this means for other DeFi tokens, SafeMoon kind of being the canary in the coal mine and the biggest one first that turns out to be run by a bunch of shitheads?
Yeah, so I hope, well, I mean, SafeMoon, I don't think it's going to be recoverable at this point. They're going to continue to drop, and I think if they drop below 6 zeros and a 7, they're just going to hit the floor. So yeah, I'm scared of what it does. Like it makes our whole space look like criminals, right? But this also is an opportunity for the good projects to get together and really say, hey, if you're not doxxed, if you're not showing people who you are and where you're from and all that kind of stuff, then you shouldn't be allowed in this network. So hopefully we look at this situation and we say, hey, this is the path forward, and it's through transparency, and these are the rules. So hopefully we can get there. Hopefully SafeMoon actually pushes us to a more transparent network of individuals that are, working.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like a lot of the little shit tokens like a rug pull, they don't really move the needle. But SafeMoon being like a rug,
massive rug,
huge needle mover.
Yeah, it brought attention to everyone, and now it's going to make everyone else look like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you say,
you gotta-
it's also a good
could be
incentive
good.
for people who want to stay in crypto to get it fixed. You know.
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. So it
Tell you
hasn't
what.
really dissuaded me at all.
I'm not happy. I know Dave Portnoy is going to be pretty unhappy, and I wouldn't want to be on the other end of just 2.5 million angry investors. So we'll keep you updated. But Jared, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, check out
Love the show.
Deploy Starship.
How do you like Cardano, Jared? Do you like Cardano?
Might be. I don't know. We'll see in the coming year or so. But there's a lot of he's been coming up. Cardano's been coming up on my. So I just started a podcast and it's called.
No,
Fut
is it
Hour,
another
which is just
SafeMoon?
No. It's just to get people to like ask questions. It's called Fut Hour, right? So I've been getting people asking questions about Cardano. Like, is it a scam?
Yeah, it's another SafeMoon. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. It's
Well, I'm
tough,
deep
right?
in that one, Jared. So don't tell me that. But yeah,
Oh,
check out
man.
check
Not the
out
answer I
Fut Hour.
wanted.
Whoa.
Thanks for coming on, Jared.
Hey,
Thanks,
appreciate
Jared.
it.
We got Cardano. We're getting bear squeezed into Cardano. and
Cardano's
We're getting
fine.
Bear squeezed so
Cardano's
hard
fine.
over here.
I've been
Bear
listening
squeeze
to
left and right.
everything good about Cardano.
Holy shit.
The bear
Cardano's
squeeze
fine.
is on.
Starship's fine. SafeMoon, those motherfuckers.
Been on the wrong end of a bear squeezer too.
Bear squeeze sounds like it was designed to fuck us up, like targeted fuck us up.
That was like Wes's main move back in the day, was selling something and then watch it go up to a really high price, then buying it for higher than he
Yep.
was ever. Yeah.
Bear Squeeze was made for me.
That's why we called him Wes Bear Squeeze Shepherd. Guys, I'm going to need some therapy once I lose my $6,000. Once it goes to zero in SafeMoon, I really have no choice but to just keep it in there and see what happens, unfortunately. So the therapy is imminent. And thank God for Talkspace. Talkspace is our partner, and they are
We need some too.
They are an online therapy program where you can have virtual therapy with a number of different licensed counselors in all sorts of different areas. I personally used Talkspace when I needed to adjust my antidepressant medication and also just needed to get back into therapy, something I did as a youth but haven't done in a long time. It was really super easy. I signed up. Immediately they pair you with like an onboarding technician who's very thorough, can kind of guide you where you need to go, and then they give you an option of a ton of therapists, which is really cool. If you've ever done therapy before in person, you don't have a million options, right? Availability, location, whether they're taking new patients or not can just be a pain in the butt. It could be a nightmare. With Talkspace, you can avoid that whole mess. Go on, let them know what you're looking for. They'll pair you. They'll give you a ton of options. If you like a male therapist, if you like a female therapist, whatever. There's someone out there for you. And guys, it's something that you really need to do. Mental health is the most important thing. If your relationship is struggling, if your sleep is struggling, if you're struggling at work, start with therapy. Start talking to people. It really does make things feel better. And guys, if you want, you can get $100 off and start feeling better matching with a licensed therapist when you go to Talkspace.com. Get that $100 off your first month with the promo code HARDFACTOR, one word. That's $100 off when you use the promo code HARDFACTOR, one word, at Talkspace.com. Seriously, give it a try. It's a service I use, and it's really valuable.
Hell yeah. You guys want to take a quick trip to the Middle East before the TikTok?
Love to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this Saturday was the 20th anniversary of 9/11, as you guys know. It was that horrible day when the Twin Towers fell in New York City and 3,000 people lost their lives. Hero first responders are still suffering the effects and still getting sick from their courageous efforts in horrible conditions, and we never forget, right? And there were a lot of tributes and moments of silence, rightfully so, all weekend during the football games and at other events. Lots of nice tributes. Oh, except for one, Al-Qaeda, the group of terrorist assholes responsible for the 9/11 attacks back when Osama bin Laden had a head and was their head, released a 60-minute video featuring their leader post Osama bin Laden, Ayman al-Zawahiri, on Saturday. What? So that's kind of a bit of a troll video, no? On the 20th anniversary, you release a video of the Al-Qaeda leader, who everyone thought was dead, by the way, which is kind of why they released it. Everyone thought that al-Zawahiri had died of a long-lasting sickness back in November 2020. It was reported all across the media, this guy's dead, right? So, no, Al-Qaeda releases a video with al-Zawahiri, or King of the Dickheads, whichever you prefer to call him, and it was just him, like, talking about events that were going on, kind of to prove that maybe he's not dead. Maybe was the point of the video. That's what people are thinking. Like he talked about like a raid that happened in January 2021, which is like at least 2 months after people thought he was dead. They're like, maybe Al-Qaeda. This video was put out by it was released by Sahab Media, Sahab Media, which is a propaganda group for Al-Qaeda. And I think the point of the video was to say, look, he's not dead. But
this is like when they used to. This is like when they used to release all those videos of Osama, right? Like where he would be like in different locations, and they'd be like they'd try to make you think he was like more healthy.
Now I'm here,
like, running shit. Yeah,
exactly. But here's the thing: they didn't do a great job of it because exactly. We got your leader. They didn't do a great job of it because he mentioned like this Russian raid, and he kind of mentioned the U.S. withdrawing from Afghanistan, but that was known since like 16 months ago that we were going to leave at some point. Right. So he didn't mention the Taliban at all, or like what's going on in Afghanistan, or anything really important. So basically they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes, but he didn't, like, it's pretty obvious that he's probably dead. He just might have died in January instead of November.
Do you think before they died, when they're doing these like 2-camera rants like about Western imperialism, do you think that they encourage each other? Like the guy behind the camera is like, okay, here's a note. Talk about stuff that may happen in the future. Yes. That way, in case.
100%.
Yes. Well, in fact, I think
like
they
Tom
100%.
Brokaw going on vacation.
They had him reading a bunch of possible outcomes, like Will saying, like right before he died. He's like, and the aliens from space came down, and now that is a sign the jihad must continue. And they're like, okay, let's take another take. Okay, you see, the Browns winning the Super Bowl is the indication that we.
How about that Tom Brady? Huh?
Yeah. How about Tom Brady? He's been traded again. He's now left the Buccaneers. Yeah. They definitely do all sorts of possible futuristic takes. 100%. But he's definitely dead, so don't worry. Don't worry about that guy. Fuck him. He's dead. Fuck Al-Qaeda for releasing that video on the anniversary. He's dead. And then remember, speaking of the Taliban, which he didn't mention at all, remember the picture of the classes resuming in Kabul, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
with the sheet.
The divider sheet.
Yes, where the women are on one side of the classroom and the men are on the other side with the sheet separating them. Yeah, that experiment's over, probably because one woman got an answer correct that a man got wrong, and that was it. And now women are not allowed to be in the same schools as men at all.
That's so fucked up. They tried it for like a day.
Yeah, I'm telling you, someone got a question right and made a man look like an idiot, and that was it.
Either that or a man got like a boner, and he was like,
what do you
open
mean?
The sheet.
Every one of those men had a boner.
Yeah, open the sheet.
Well, one of them felt real guilty about it, and he was like, "Professor, I've got a boner. Can you please send these women away?"
Who do we kill? Who do we kill for that boner?
You either send them away, or I'm going to start shooting up the class.
Eyes at the board. You can't see through the sheet. Everyone's just staring at the sheet, hoping to catch a glimpse through it. We have no problems in ending the mixed education system, said Higher Education Minister of the Taliban, Abdul Baqi Haqqani. The people are Muslims and they will accept what we do. So the women at their women's schools will only be taught by women and will be required to be in line with the dress code, like covered head. This is what they're going to have to wear. The hijab, like head to toe, eyes covered, mouth covered.
I've never understood why, even when they're in separate facilities, they still have to wear that.
They make them dress like a security door in a back alley drug dealer pad where you can just open the eyes to see who's knocking situation.
Yeah.
They're like dressed like that door.
How do you know who's talking?
Yeah.
I
don't know. Here's the thing, Wes. The men will also be taught different courses than the women. They're going to change up the courses. Men will be taught math, science, history, and aggression, and women will be taught to stay absolutely still and show no emotion while being screamed at.
Those are the subjects.
They've
divided them up.
Yeah, they covered it like that. They said they're going to divide the subjects up. This comes after literacy rates amongst women has doubled in the last decade in Afghanistan.
Oh, no.
Only to 30%, though. So they've doubled, but they're only at 30%. And that's way too many smart women for the Taliban, though. They're going to get the literacy rate lowered real quick for women. Is they're going to say, like, hey, read this. She read that perfectly. Kill her.
Right.
No, bro, that's
that back down. Yeah,
that's the most
15% right away.
Dangerous thing for them is women that can read. Man, they should be fucking scared.
That's what
they are,
doing.
Pat.
That's why they're doing this, Pat. Yeah, it's literally what they're scared of.
They got their PR photo, and then it was done.
Yeah. So no more literacy for women in Afghanistan. That's sad.
Very sad.
Yes.
All right, guys, before we get to the TikTok International Moment, I want to talk to you about our fantastic sponsor, Full Bore Barbecue. And Full Bore is proof the American dream is still alive when you have a superior product mixed with unstoppable work ethic. What started with a group of high school friends trying their hand at a local barbecue competition has turned into a company that is trusted everywhere. It is known to make you the star of your backyard. Their sauce and rub combinations might as well be peanut butter and jelly. Classic flavors with the extra something that pulls them over the top, with a wall of trophies and hardware to prove it. Over 30,000 units sold and enjoyed nationwide. I know we've been enjoying them a lot since they sent us our packs, and many members of the Hive have been as well. Best damn rubs and sauces you'll ever allow to tickle your taste buds. One small business trying to support another. They can be found at almost 300 retail stores. Check out the website for location information, and please read their story and check out their unique recipes on their website. Rub it in. Follow them on Instagram at Full Bore BBQ Products for fan features and Full Bore BBQ to see more of their work. And Full Bore is offering our listeners 10% off your entire order using promo code FACTOR. So stop forcing down that sweet baby raise and support fellow Hard Factor listener and Hive member by visiting fullborebbqproducts.com. That's Full Bore like the pig, bbqproducts.com to order yours today. Code FACTOR. Let's barbecue everything.
You can't get better than laying down some of that barbecue sauce on something right before a game day.
No, it's fantastic. Whoa. It's fantastic. All right, guys.
It's time for the TikTok International Moment.
That's right. Today we're going to the Netherlands, then over to Vancouver, and then to Italy/Vatican City. First up, in a story I love out of the Netherlands, some Dutch dudes took one for the international team of parents who are real tired of those Lego bastards and how much they charge for the little plastic blocks. I, for one, can't even begin to tell you how much I've spent on my son.
They're so expensive.
Oh,
why is a Lego set like $50? You know,
because they're engineered. The cost of engineering and plastic. I don't know. I mean, literally, I've done the math. I've watched him like put together a Lego set and like how much it cost me. It's like $50 an hour entertainment. That's what it equates to.
It really is. Those things are so expensive.
Yeah, it's insane. So they're the high costs are ridiculous. So let's go to the Dutch town of Voorburg. And let me pull a picture so you guys can get an idea of where that is. Right under Amsterdam, a little southwest of Amsterdam. Friday night, a van, likely driven by two men, likely angry dads, rammed into the front of the Intertoys toy store at just after 9:30 p.m. And here's a picture of a stuffed monkey that was collateral damage in the ramming.
They crashed the whole front end of the building in.
Yeah, they just went right through. Mm-hmm. So now managers believe that thieves were after Legos and Pokemon. First, because nobody can really afford Legos unless you're rich. Two, the new series Lego Masters, where nerds build impressive Lego structures, has taken the popularity of Legos to new heights. And third, some of these limited edition Legos quickly become like nerd collector items, and nerds will pay upwards of like 5 figures for these things if you can find the right rich nerd.
That's hosted by Will Arnett. I can't imagine anything more infuriating personally than building a Lego structure for hours and then having Will Arnett nitpick it. Now,
yeah, he's like a bully comedian. They hired him to kind of make fun of the nerds. I saw 20 minutes.
Hell on earth being a contestant on this show.
They hired him because he was Lego Batman.
Well, I get that, but also, last person I'd want nitpicking my Lego thing after I just sweated for an hour trying to put it together.
He's a dick. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So luckily for the store, they were prepared for this kind of ram raid that has been on the rise in the U.S. and Europe, and the managers said they had laminated glass in the storefront, so the thieves were not able to get much before ditching the van, later found near the Hague, after a Lego police helicopter was scrambled to catch the Lego thieves, who are still at large and likely apologizing to their very disappointed children that they couldn't get them more Legos. So. Next, let's go to Vancouver.
This Lego castle sucks.
Yeah. I gotta check that shot.
Sorry, we brought you Duplos. All they had was Duplo. Sorry.
Maybe you could use some of that jizz from your hands because you don't jerk off all the time, you nerd. Maybe that'll stick your Legos together, you nerd. I'm Will Arnett.
I thought he was what's his name from Breaking Bad for a second from the picture. I didn't know.
Him and Amy Poehler got divorced.
He's been in all kinds of stuff. He's a great comedian, but I mean, I would not want him nitpicking my Lego set.
Oops, someone pushed over your structure. It's me, Will Arnett. Just destroys it.
Oh, pretty weak, actually. Stomps it in.
Yeah.
Is this what goes on in the show?
Yeah. He goes around to he's
Is
nicer
it children
than that,
building them?
It's nerds. It's
No,
like
it's nerds.
it's adults, but there are some teenagers. There's some
He's gonna fuck with the teenagers.
there's some nerdy teenagers.
Yeah. All right, let's next go to Vancouver for one of the worst things that I have personally ever heard. As a friend and brother of the Golden Arches, husband and father of two, Tony Ailes, I'm not sure how to say his last name, Eyles, has lost his life doing what I can only assume he loved doing the second most behind, spending time with his family, of course. And that was getting some hot, fresh, and very delicious Mickey D's. The tragedy took place at around 5:30 a.m. this past Wednesday morning when the man involved was likely on his way to work, grabbing the highlight of his day on his way into the office. When, according to the news report, quote, the man was reportedly paying for his food when he dropped his bank card. We've all been there. You drop some change in your card. He then opened his door, and when he went to pick it up, the vehicle rolled forward, colliding into a structural piece of the restaurant. I'm imagining that big pole that sits there. And then he was unable to free himself when he was pinned between the vehicle door and the frame.
What just snapped him?
Yeah, he just I think it maybe crushed him or suffocated him to death. He couldn't breathe.
And he's smelling like the fries the whole time.
Yeah.
That's terrifying, dude.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can imagine. First of all, our condolences to Tony's, two young kids, his wife, his whole family and friends. No doubt he was a great man and will be missed. But also to the fine restaurant staff at McDonald's who wanted nothing more than to brighten Tony's day with a smile and great food. This was probably the most horrific thing many of them have ever witnessed, and luckily, he died on the scene. Luckily, McDonald's, being the amazing place to work that it is scrambling counselors and victim services to help the staff cope with this tragedy. And Tony's friend and coworker has started a GoFundMe. Here it is. There's his family. So far, they've raised over 45,000 Canadian dollars, another fundraiser also in effect. So over $60,000. If you'd like to donate, check out the link in the description of this episode. I made a small donation on behalf of Hard Factor to help the family of one of our brothers. So just terrible story.
Fellow McDonald's eater. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to happen to McDonald's.
No, it's very sad.
It's supposed to be a happy line,
Right, it's supposed to be highlight of the day, not Tony's day that day. Okay, let's end it on a nice story, shall we? To Vatican City, also known as the City of Secrets, I believe. Which is actually just a state inside of Rome, Italy, where record temps, literally the hottest summer on record in Italy, have inspired Pope Francis to do something nice for Rome's prisoners who are rotting away in the jails there. There's Rome, and get a little idea of where it is. With so there,
Thank you for showing us where Rome is.
Right there, right on.
I had
right
no
on
idea until
right on the shin of the boot.
Yeah, I had no idea. So he decided to do something nice and give the prisoners a cold treat, some gelato.
Rome, huh?
Where did you think Rome was in Italy?
I thought it was way north.
Up north?
Really? It's like southwest.
Surely it was north.
It starts with an R. R is high in the alphabet. It's high. It's north. Rome.
Gotta be. Can't be down south. He sent gelato to 15,000 servings, in fact, to be distributed between the old Regina Coeli jail and the Tiber River in the center of the modern Rapibia prison in the city's outskirts, housing the worst of the worst, like child molesters, rapists, murderers, stuff like that. But the Pope said, you know what? Here's a special treat from me to you. And he sent Polish Cardinal Konrad Kraszewski, who is known as the Pope's almoner, or one who distributes alms to the poor. The Vatican described the act of gelato kindness as one of several small evangelical gestures made to help and give hope to thousands imprisoned in the capital. And here's a clip from an inmate they interviewed about the gesture from inside the jail.
It's been so hot in here, and then the Pope, he sent us a gelato, and it make me remember of when I was on the outside. I used to take the gelato, and I used to lure the children into my basement with the gelato. Dio benedica il Papa.
So that was, fond memories.
You could hear the prison workers in the background.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
The guards, like, you got to wrap it up at the end.
Yeah, he's like they're like in the Bronx, but in Rome.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah,
Well done,
Rikers.
soundscape.
Yeah, pretty good. So, what a great
Man, it
poll,
sounds
huh?
a lot like an Abilene, Texas festival inside those papal jails.
Yeah, exactly.
Your funnel cake's ready for Wes.
I literally sat an hour line for funnel cake last night. Unbelievable. But deep fried cheesecake changed your life. So yeah, good for the Pope. He's a great guy, right?
Yeah, that'll make up for it.
Yeah, that'll make up for it. And that's gonna do for Hard Factor. Thank you guys for listening. Thank
It's
you.
like some poor kid in Philadelphia. Do I get gelato too? No, just the prisoners. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up? Also, what's up? They're the richest people on planet Earth. How are they just like they're like bragging about giving out some fucking ice cream to a couple inmates?
They could give out homes to everyone. Yeah. It's the richest per capita country in the world. Is
Therapy.
Vatican City. All the way up there in northern Italy. Oh, that's where Rome is.
Yeah, good point, Pat. They should give out health care to all
Right.
the abuse victims.
Yeah.
Mhm. Instead of sending lawyers to try to negotiate them down.
Yeah.
Oh, for another day.
Gotta
For another
protect
day.
Protect the. What's the? It's not the crown. What's
The hand.
Protect the hand.
I mean, they've got some gold
hat.
crowns in there.
The hat.
Yeah. Protect the hat. You're right.
Sorry, Father Brian.
Yeah, sorry.
We love you, Father Brian, and all of our Catholic.
Not all Catholic priests and are molesters. We know that.
Look,
Anyway,
City.
Just
come on,
12%.
City of Secrets.
Most aren't, which is good.
not all of you guys.
City
are,
of Secrets.
Yeah. City of Secrets.
What is that? What is that music you're playing? It's just people wailing. The wailing walls.
Yes. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for Hard Factor. Thank you for
That was a
listening.
Muslim thing or Jewish? No.
Patreon.com/Hard Factor. Have a great fucking day.
Factor.com. Patreon.com/hardfactor.